Hello, and welcome to Table Fables. We are on YouTube tonight, if you didn't know. And we are having a session 0.5 is what I've called this. What is a session 0.5, you might ask? Well, I'm glad you asked.
Hey, what's a session 0.5, Michael?
Oh, well, it's where we're going to discover some background characteristics of your characters and create some interpersonal relationships between them. Yes, Cameron.
What's a session 0.5?
It is exactly what I just...
What's an interpersonal relationship?
Well, you guys can only see me on screen right now, but there being a bunch of dinguses off screen. We are going to go through and introduce our characters to the world for the first time, and maybe even each other. And it's going to be a lot of fun. So, without further ado, welcome to the table. And hopefully our audio is good, because I think it is, but...
Would you like me to check?
You know, if there are people in the chat, they can tell us. I don't know. There's nobody watching right now, so...
No.
Joke's on us.
Then we've got time to fix it if it's bad.
That's true. We can share this out to everybody. So tonight we're going to be playing with with Fate Accelerated is what it's called. It's an accelerated, really easy version of the Fate RPG system, which is already really easy. And this is just essentially to help us facilitate learning who these characters are and meeting each other and setting the stage for our campaign to start. So, let me give you a few truths about this world. Magic has been gone for exactly 100 years. The world, generally speaking, has been pretty peaceful in those 100 years. Monsters have not been seen for 100 years. There's a theme here. Technology has rapidly advanced in the last 100 years, starting in the south with the dwarves. Magic is gone. So, who would like to go first?
I'm getting the look, so I guess I'll go first. Are we doing this in... do it however you want. I'm going to do mine, hopefully,
So,
with character voice adjustment along the way.
first and foremost, what, Colin, is your character's name?
My name is Flea. Phlea.
Okay.
Do you want the last name and spelling?
Sure.
I'll just give you the spelling for now. Q-U-A-X.
Hold on.
Okay.
Q what?
Q-U-A-X.
Q-U-A-X.
I-C-H.
I-C-H.
A-R-M.
A-R-M?
Yep. So his name is Flea Wax-A-Charm.
Oh. For a second there, I thought you just, threw your hands on the keyboard and it came out.
What's the grossest way to spell this thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
It's Elon
Is
Musk.
your background what I think it is?
Yeah, for now, we'll assume that it's all of those things. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Is that description is personal
Yeah, it's like
description?
personal description. So I'm currently typing what he looks like and why he is where he is now.
Flea.
Flea is a mid-height, well-tanned-skinned, 19-ish year old who's only ever known how to farm and assumed that would be his destiny. Where now he finds himself in the Everlight College, right? Is it college? In the school of Everlight.
Everlight University.
Everlight University, due to the fact that he's started having more troubles on the farm with, we'll say, multiple personality disorder.
So,
School's a great place to
flee.
turn it down.
Yep. He can be whoever the other versions of him want him to be.
Could have been a whole sentence. He be whoever. Okay.
Flee. What is your earliest memory in this world?
Earliest memory in this world, in this
Would it have been
age of non-arcana.
would it have been waking up on this farm? Near this farm?
I don't think so. I think you would be, like, earliest memory is just a very normal, very similar other earliest memory that just about anyone would have of being a child, probably getting his knee scraped up, accidentally running somewhere where he wasn't supposed to, and having that moment of he's now a fully conscious 3-year-old and something hurts and he knows why.
Does anything else stand out from this memory? Like people using magic?
Not this one.
Okay.
So yeah, first earliest memory from this age in this world of non-arcana, that's probably the earliest one. Not this one.
Audio's a little quiet, but that's okay. At least it's working. Flee, you approach through the woods down a well-trodden, quaint path. The Everlight University. Towering hundreds and hundreds of feet above you, you see its spires in the distance. Nothing like this is around your farm. Everlight has always been known as the premier magic university, arcane university in the world. And you're beginning to understand why. You walk through a large carved archway through a mountain almost. And you see the university sprawling before you. The very building has been carved into the stone. Lush trees growing left, right. This path, you see all of the other students, first years, filing in next to you.
I am visibly out of place, where they're probably wearing some sort of university garb. I'm wearing my farm garb with a whip at my hip of just, it's first day, I've never been to a school like this. I'm here, I'm nervous, I didn't know what to bring, so I brought the only things that
Are we talking like overalls with like one of them like unclipped like over your shoulder or?
Not so much overalls, but like the equivalent of like jeans, boots, probably some sort of plaid shirt, and just like a nice hefty leather work belt with the whip and maybe a knife or something at the side.
You, as you push through this crowd, everyone seems to be pretty excited and not necessarily focused on you. You have gotten a couple of weird looks, but up ahead, you notice something quite interesting. You see two smaller figures arguing with each other. They both appear to be dwarves. One of them seems to be wearing very nice robes. Sorry, the word was escaping me. He looks like a wizard would look. The other one, and he is yelling at this other dwarf, and you just hear, "I don't care who you used to be. I'm telling you, I need I need you to be an example for my class today. We're gonna dump some stuff on you, just like always. You've never had a problem before. And Cameron, what does your character say back to him?
Get off the floors.
You were being talked to by another dwarf.
Oh.
He's wanting to use you as an example in his class.
No, you're not
Today.
using me as an example.
But you've never had the problem with it before.
No, not this time.
Oh, come on.
I've got too much to do.
I'll buy you a new broom.
Mm-mm.
New mop.
Mm-mm.
What's it gonna take?
You got any black powder?
No, but I could probably find some for you.
Gold's fine.
Okay. Sure. And describe yourself. What do you look like?
Hugh, get the gat, is about 4'2". So about as tall as 2 stone in Dwarven. He's missing his left eye and left ring finger, and has some scarring on the left side of his body. You couldn't tell from looking at Hugh that he is missing his left eye because it's been replaced with a very good-looking fake eyeball.
Okay. Hugh, get the gat. Hold on. I'm trying to make sure.
There's a quality to names already.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think the stream went down.
Y'all encouraged me to add a little bit of shenanigans menu.
Oh, no. Okay, we're good. So he tells you, all right, you know where to be. I'll have you whatever you want. Just be there, if you don't mind. And he turns and walks off. Chris,
Yes.
remind me where your character comes from.
Elthandor used to be he used to do used to be practice magic, and obviously in the as an elf he's been around in this time, and he has some memory of the before time, but not that much. It's slowly being replaced by the daily grind of mediocrity, as he finds himself suddenly brought low to the realms of men when it comes to imagine if you're like a PhD and then one day you're like, well, I don't remember any of that. Let me go pull up the classified ads in a newspaper, like that. And his name is Elthandor Mirafar. Unaffectionately called by his coworkers, Elfin.
Spell that for me.
Elthandor. Last name Mirafar.
M what?
Irafar.
Talking about medicine's wearing off. Mine is wearing off.
Gotcha. Yeah.
ADHD problems.
If someone wants to take him down a peg, they call him Elfin,
Okay.
because he takes great pride in his his show name.
So, Elfin, Door, you have heard tales of the great Everlight University and how they aspire to bring magic back to the world. And they have studies and vast resources to pour into such studies. And I imagine that would lead you to the university to enroll.
Of course.
How old are you as well? You're an elf, right?
Yeah, he's so he was so elves reach like physical maturity at like 50.
Huh?
This many.
6?
He's probably like 175.
Okay.
So he was like
And your background is rock dwarf, right?
Mm-hmm.
And yours is
background mystic.
But you said mistake.
Mystique. Big difference there. Cool.
Yeah.
You find yourself in the same sea of faces, walking through, trying to figure out where you're going, even though you're much older and wiser. It's still overwhelming.
Like it's being like your mid 30s and going to college as a freshman. You're like, time to.
Well, this is a bummer.
Yeah, right.
You got a roller backpack.
With little flashing red and blue lights as it hits over the bumps that the dwarves created. You each find your class schedules, and separately, of course. You find your dorms. You're sorted into different dorms. Just there is a dorm specifically for aged students who are older than perhaps a 19-year-old human would be, but not in an ageist way or anything like that.
Of course. He's there with all of these like older humans, and he's like.
And there's dwarves and elves too, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just imagining just as an elf around like someone who considers themselves old. It's like you don't even know the beginning of old.
You each go through your first night, and you the next morning have breakfast. I don't know, compared to what a farm breakfast would be every morning, this is pretty good. There's a spread of biscuits and jams and all kinds of different meats. Don't know if that piques Flea's interest.
There's a good mix of everything on his plate, likely. Breads take longer to make, so he's gonna have some of that, but also like you can't harvest animals every day, so good stack of meat too.
What's so funny?
I just can't say what I want to say. You take a bite into a biscuit that had some jam on it. That jam is the spiciest jam you've ever had, and it triggers something within you. What do you do?
Probably, I don't know. Spit it out as like quickly and respectfully as possible, because I know Mama would not be happy for you finish your food and I didn't.
What are the other voices? What do they do? You want to roll a d4?
Yeah. We'll see how it goes.
That's a 3.
Okay. Yeah, sitting there and not having established a voice. Whoever is listening hears something akin to, "Who in the devil decided to make something this spicy this early in the morning? Who's in charge here?"
You see a small little halfling woman who's like carrying a big tote of food stop and turn.
Why? What was the reasoning? Are you in charge?
She picks up the little jar and holds it up to you, and it says, "Extremely spicy. This was my grand's recipe. It uses dragon's fire peppers."
And you decided to bring this out for breakfast.
Can you read?
That I can. Who's your supervisor?
You're new here, aren't you?
Does it look like I'm new here?
Yeah. Yes, it does.
Then unfortunately I am.
Oh, okay.
But there's not been a waking day that I've had a breakfast as tainted as this one.
Well, I'm sorry about that, sweetie. Hold on one second. Let me bring you something more appropriate then, okay?
Finally.
She goes off and comes back and brings you a muffin and presents it. This is the most delicate flour that I have hand ground myself.
Perfect. Thank you. Finally, someone who has decided to put some skill and quality into something. I consume that instead.
It's also made with dragon's fire pepper. But she just giggles and walks away.
There's some sort of non-common cursing in a language that not like calling names or anything, just profanity.
That was a 1 on the D4.
That was a 3?
It was a 3 and then a 1.
And then a 1?
Yeah. Is 1, or is it 4?
Yeah, no, the first 4 is straight.
Yeah.
And then I'm trying to remember which. So yeah, 1 for the second time. Take a bite out of this. I'm so frustrated that this is so delicious, and it's still too spicy. Does anyone have any water? I've gone from having a delicious biscuit that's entirely too spicy to having a muffin that is entirely too spicy. Please, some water, or the table gets smashed.
Everyone around you kind of is inching away just ever so slightly, and this one red-haired boy, I don't know, probably your age, 19, points to a jar, a pitcher of water on the table.
Excellent! I take it and just down the whole thing.
Across the way, Elthendor, you see this whole thing playing out on the other side of the mess hall. And an older human man leans in and, there's always commotion on the first day. Can't be avoided. But never quite like this.
When was your first day exactly?
Ooh. 35 years ago.
He's considering for himself how much his detention in mediocrity measured in this man's lifespan as he gets ready to move on with his getting on with it.
You hear a bell chime in the distance as it is now time to move to your classes.
Mm-hmm.
You both, on your schedules, separately of course, see your first class of the day, 9 a.m. An introduction to transmutation with Sir Digby, actually would say the prestigious Sir Digby Silver Axe, which is where you make your way. Had to make sure I enunciated that very well. Hugh, you also are making your way to Sir Digby's classroom. You all file in. There's probably 2-3 dozen students in this class. This would be your 100 level class, first year. You see 2 dwarves standing at the front of the class. Kind of amphitheater style seating. Goes up. Sir Digby, dressed in his very fine linen robe with gold pleated shoulders. He even wears a kind of funny looking hat, but You know, who doesn't like wearing funny looking hats? Oh yeah, there's a chat on YouTube.
Yeah, it for whatever reason it just like was entirely empty for me for a super long time, and it has since appeared.
Class begins. Sir Digby raises his hands to bring everyone to a hush. Welcome to your first day at the Everlight University. I will be your teacher and your guide as we discuss an introduction to transmutation. Now, as you all know, just to make sure, we are what you would call theoretical mages here. We practice the theory and the mechanics of the arcane, but of course, not the arcane itself. Well, you know, we all know magic's been gone for a long time. You know, some of us can still remember what it was like when it was here, but, you know, all we have now is to study and do our best to understand the old texts, and also try to apply ourselves to the future to bring magic back. So, first, what is transmutation? Does anyone know? Anyone at all? Oh, we have a brave one, do we? Yes?
Excuse me. Sorry, that was a real life one, not a character one. Transmutations when you take this stuff and you turn it into that stuff, because you can use magic, or could, once upon a time.
Is that like when I take wood and turn it into splinters?
Precisely.
I'm an expert in transmutation.
Sort of.
This is great. I feel like I'm gonna do great in this class.
So, thank you for that. That was a very remedial answer.
Visibly taking offense to that. As if that was insufficient to describe the subject.
So, you're taking one thing and you're applying magic to it to make it an entirely different thing.
Would have applied magic.
So, for example, if you were to take a tree and apply transmutation to it, and turn that into a toad, does that...
What?
A toad.
How do you take a
A
tree
frog.
and turn it into a toad? Trees go from trees to smaller trees.
That's
You're
where,
telling me that's not transmutation?
that's where magic comes in.
Trees go small trees, big trees, back to small trees, and then usually fire.
Are you here for our... are you in the right class? Are you sure you're not supposed to be in...
I don't know, what does this say?
You're in the right class.
I'm in the right
hold on.
class.
What's your name?
Uh,
Are you Flea?
I'm Flea. Sorry.
Oh, all right.
Is-
Flea, I've been made known of your learning accommodation requests, and sorry, I didn't realize you were you. We're talking about transmutation.
Yes.
You were about to
Good.
ask the burning question of how many toads a tree becomes. Is it 1-to-1? Does the tree's size matter?
What he said. Please.
One
Genuinely
very
interested in the answer.
one very well researched spell that uses transmutation, for example, is polymorph. Polymorph is where you take something and you change it into another thing, including, but not limited to, living things. Another could be with personality traits. It doesn't have to be a physical change. It could be taking someone and changing their brain chemistry to be more charismatic. Are you following? Well, as we all know, to study you need books. Oh, books are just the best. So my lovely assistant here for the day, Mr. Hugh.
Me?
Yes, you.
Oh, okay.
Hugh.
Yeah.
You all will see a lot of Hugh around the grounds. He is our groundskeeper. Absolutely make sure you don't walk on his freshly mopped floors. He hates that.
Please. The mess at breakfast this morning was something else, okay?
Breakfast was a mess.
Oh, what was there anything in particular that caused a mess this morning?
Yeah, somebody spit dragonfire peppers, jam, and biscuits all over the floor.
Wow, that sounds like an absolute mess. Well, class, we can all do our best to remember to make life for Mr. Hugh that much easier, please. So, perhaps the reason that Mr. Hugh is here with us today is because he is going to be your guide to the library. And yes, I know I say library funny.
I'm laughing at character.
It's been that way my whole life. So he's going to escort you. We're gonna split into groups. So you and you will go with Hugh first, and then you and you. You're going to come with me, and we're gonna go take a visit to the headmaster's quarters to see if he has any book recommendations for transmutation. And then the other three of you stay here just in case anybody comes by asking where we are, and you can tell them we're studying. Okay? All right.
All right. You'll come with me to the library?
So it seems.
Let's go. Where are you two from?
Oh, I'm just from just down the road. I'm from a farm. I don't know what I'm doing here.
Okay, you can stop talking. That's you?
I've already stopped talking.
What?
I've already stopped talking.
Why? Hello? Okay, what about the third person with us?
It's just the three of you.
Okay.
After realizing that he would lose his opportunity to snark remarks, he goes back on his commitment to not talk. Oh yes, I'm from the big city, the one that all of this was obviously made from, and once served as a school for the most gifted.
Oh, gifted. Okay.
So, as you're meandering the halls, what would be your goal? You know you've been asked to guide them to the library.
Uh-huh.
But how would you do that? And how would you do that?
How would I do that?
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna take all shortcuts.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why?
'Cause I'm the janitor, and I know where everything's at.
And that should help you get there faster, right?
Oh yeah.
So we're gonna do an approach here.
Okay.
So as a refresher, we're using the Fate accelerated rules just for this game.
Yeah, for the 0.5 session.
For the 0.5 session, and not for our actual campaign, which will be Pathfinder. So what I need from you is nothing, actually.
Perfect.
Exactly.
How often do you get lost in the shortcuts, or do you ever? No.
Very rare. Only when I've been drinking.
Do you ever run into people or get stuck? Doors not opening?
No, I mean, I've ran into people a few times. It's usually people up to no good.
What is your quick modifier for your approaches?
2.
2?
Actually put 22 in there.
Very high.
Yep.
So
I'm fast.
You walk through a cloud of dust, and it makes you start coughing profusely. You're out of breath.
What?
You're out of breath. You're a little distracted.
Can't cough like that forever.
Yeah, you don't have to cough anymore. What would you do to try to course correct? You're a little fuzzy, like physically and mentally. You've been through here 1,000 times, but a left might be a right and a right might be a left.
Probably take a swig out of the flask and
Give it-
just continue on like I know where I'm going.
Okay. I'll allow you to use another approach of either flashy or
Let's go flashy.
what's flashy?
It's 3.
3. Okay, so this is a -1 on my side
Okay.
for either slippery or low morale. And I'm going to let you two decide which one. Slippery or low morale.
What does that mean?
I mean, I know which one I'm picking. Low morale.
I was gonna say low morale is the 5 I'm getting right now.
This crazy old dwarf is leading you through the catacombs. Aren't you old?
No. I'm young compared to most,
Oh, well, how old are you then?
I don't know. How old do dwarves live to?
Hundreds of years.
Let's do...
Capitalight 4. 400.
We're talking like maybe...
100 would put you in... 100 would put you like in your 40s.
Oh, let's go below that. Let's go at 80.
Okay. So yeah, you'd be young.
Yeah.
So it'd be extra interesting for you to have
Yeah.
a missing eye and finger.
Huh.
Okay.
We've been doing this thing, okay? You get the Gat clan goes way back.
So you can invoke a few different things to go along with this aspect.
Okay.
You can either add another +2 bonus.
Let's do
This costs a fate point,
what?
which you currently don't have, so you can't use.
Oh, okay.
You can re-roll, but if you re-roll,
Re-roll the modifiers, like slippery or
no,
morale.
over
or-
here, but that also costs a fate point.
Oh.
You can cause a confrontation to hopefully increase your score, or you can help an ally with the aspect. But for the sake of
Let's just move.
narrative,
We're all low morale.
you have you this guy's leading you through the catacombs. You have no idea where you're
Right
going.
this way.
Oh yes, this way again.
You round a corner that looks a little unfamiliar. You've probably taken a wrong turn. But you keep going, because why not? Of course. You'll eventually get
Been
out of here.
plenty of times.
Yeah.
That's the truth.
But this time, you see, as you're going through these catacombs, it's very well kept. It's not, overgrown with moss, and there's no skeleton bones down here. It's a very well kept. Of course, it's well kept because you keep it. Well kept catacomb that connects the different subfloors of the university. As such, there are doors that lead to other places as you're traversing these hallways. One of these doors that usually has a huge padlock on it is open. The lock is broken on the floor. When I say large padlock, I mean like large. Like
big, shackled.
thick.
Yeah.
Hey, you two boys stay here. I need to go peek at this real quick.
What kind of
So,
a person
I want
really
to,
opens a door like this?
I just want to go up and start looking inside.
Does it have a comically large keyhole? It's like wondering what kind of giant would.
Hey, big lock, big prize. You know, it's usually what they say, right?
The keyhole's like the size of your face, dude.
Yeah.
Where do they keep a key like that?
On this key ring.
You have a lot of giant key rings.
Huge.
You move forward.
Okay.
Let's use Are you trying to be sneaky? Or you describe to me what you do as you?
I would say sneaky. Not overly sneaky. I'm not like, but you know, walking up being like, what's going on over here?
Mm-hmm.
You know, a little cautious. I would
Okay.
say cautious.
What's your sneaky modifier?
2.
Oh no. This is a -3.
It's low morale again.
You take a step forward. You take a step forward and you trip over the shackle on the floor, and it lets loose a metallic thud that just echoes all the way up and down the hallways. The note for this card is just plain cursed.
Why do they put such a large lock on a library?
Are you sure we're not going to be waking up anything that's down here?
Oh, chill out.
Is this
Can I
really the
keep-
fastest way to the library?
Well, no,
Um,
but I gotta stop and take care of this.
What's the largest rodent you've killed in the last month?
Don't ask him that.
You don't.
I don't want to know.
You don't want to know. We take him out very humanely, okay?
Is this the kind of like campus where people like carry weapons, or is it
Oh,
like,
I'm keeping mine on me.
I was like, are we strapped with our swords for our dueling classes, or?
Y'all are mages. What are you talking about? Put those swords away.
I'm
Back to
not-
the books.
I got a whip and a knife. You're not taking those from me.
A whip? What are you doing later? Anyways, I'm gonna make
Studying
my way.
Farmhand.
I'm gonna make my way towards the door.
I don't know. So you guys, you can go forward and look and peer into the darkness.
Oh no, I'm not. They're not up here. I told them to hang back.
So you can go forward
So
and
I'm up
peer into the darkness.
Yep. Mhm.
Um,
I'm pretty sure I have dark vision.
I'm like sizing up this gigantic.
you might have low light vision, but not dark vision.
I have.
They're different.
I can't see anything down here.
Are you sure you have dark vision?
Oh, I see is
have low
fear.
light vision.
Low light and dark vision are different.
Interesting.
things.
Oh yeah, because it's actually like low light versus actual darkness.
Yep.
Okay, sorry. I do have low light vision.
You see the outline
As if it were bright.
of a humanoid type figure laying just kind of into the darkness of this this tunnel that is actually a stairwell down into a crypt under the school. You would know that this is a wing of the research department where they are doing research on bringing magic back.
Hey. Hello. You okay, buddy?
I'll be all right. As
Not
soon as
you.
we get some light down here.
You boys got a torch?
Nope.
It's the main hallway is lit.
Oh, I'm talking
With,
I'm
like,
whispering
electric
to the
lights.
body.
You don't get a response. Face down.
All right, you two fellas, come over here and help me. We're gonna drag him up, or I will drag him out into the light.
So it's our first day of school, and we're in a dark corner of who knows where, past a gigantic lock, looking for a library. And now we found a body, and we're helping you move this thing.
Don't act like
Is this some sort of test?
Are we
Yes.
going
Is
to
this
be
gonna-
accessories to some form of crime?
Is that on the
No.
test?
But
Is
let's
this-
be honest, y'all came to a magic college in a time of no magic. I don't think y'all are the brightest people in the world.
Is this
Brightest, certainly. Desperate, Also, yes.
Okay.
Is this
Well,
some
then
form of
desperately, let's
transmutation?
get this body out of here.
I thought you said transmutation, not transportation.
Oh, we're gonna transmute this body up into the light.
Is that 6th level of
Nope, first
sixth-
level.
First tier transmutation?
Your test
is-
starts now.
It's been a long time since
Mr.
I was in
Flea.
school. It's
Oh.
transmutation short for
I'm just gonna start pulling the body by the feet.
Okay. Do you help?
Fearfully, but yes.
You start pulling, and you grab like his legs are what you would have gotten to first, and they're still warm. Like he's not dead, or he doesn't feel dead. You pull him into the light, and just appears to be a mostly human person.
Slap him.
You
In the
flip him over and
Hey.
sorry. Nothing. But he is breathing. His eyes are closed. His face is kind of scarred. Has some scarring to it.
Okay.
But seems to be completely out cold.
Huh. Out cold. All right.
I don't know how to.
I can't say that.
If this was like a multiple choice test, it might be going a little better for me. What are the options here?
Anybody got any water on them to splash it on them?
We are in.
I'd have water.
We're gonna splash water.
Splash water on him. Nothing. Doesn't wince. Nothing. Just out.
So water does not react with transmutation. Got it.
Oh, this is transportation.
Transportation. Level 1 transmutation.
Transport.
There is a hospital on site.
Okay, well let's start. All right, you boys, you grab the hands. I'm gonna grab the feet. We gotta go back up and take this guy into the infirmary and let the nurses.
Can't you just
help him.
put him on your shoulder?
I'm a dwarf.
He then recognizes he's like this much taller.
So all right.
I'm a dwarf.
So notes are transportation is level 1 transmutation. Restoration is level 2 transmutation.
Uh-huh.
So we're taking him to the hospital for restoration.
Yeah. This is a part of the test.
Oh gosh, I'm gonna fail. I'm gonna flunk out,
No,
and I
you
just
got
need
it.
answers.
You just gotta pick up the hands and we
Oh.
get to walking.
All right. I'm gonna do that.
All right.
Oh, this is what you call a hoot.
I'm just imagining you carrying his arms and you like trying to carry his like waist, but his like legs are fully on the ground, and I'm just like trying to like be helpful by like making way for you guys, but the hallway's also entirely empty.
Yeah.
That's what I figured too. It was one of those things where you like your hands underneath him and it looks like you're helping from a distance, but you're really not.
Although like I'm trying to look really busy, like
Yeah.
I'm really covering for you guys.
I need whoever has the highest force careful modifier.
Yes.
Not me.
He's
Plus 3.
Okay, so 3 plus you two are helping.
Yeah.
Well, you're helping, so you get another plus 2. So we're at 5, right? Plus 3,
Great.
so
Very
8.
good.
What about teamwork? Plus
Well,
10.
so that's 8.
8's really
We're 8, which is legendary, which is the best you can do.
Oh.
You blink and you have remembered the fastest way through your secret tunnels. Secret
Yeah, I was literally.
tunnel.
Yep.
Through your secret doorways and passages, and you are in the hospital wing of the university, where the staff immediately come and take this gentleman and rush him away to do tests and things. And a very stern-looking man comes around a corner and walks up to you, Hugh. Hugh,
Hey.
what have you done this time?
No need to thank us.
With students?
No need to thank us. I know we saved the day. We saved this man's life. It's okay.
There was the biggest lock I've ever seen. It was the size of this man's head.
Oh yeah, we need a new lock for one of the basement doors down You know which one I'm talking about.
Oh my.
Yeah.
That door.
Uh-huh.
Was there anything else?
Um,
Is that door still open?
oh yeah.
We must go close that door.
We.
Well, that you are the you are the keeper of, locks and things here. I am just the head of the.
Look, you're really important. You work all the locks. I just, keep people
Yeah.
alive.
Yeah,
Nothing that important.
I'm the head of the emergency department.
Well, emergency.
Making or fixing?
Yeah, we need a door. Or, I mean, a new lock.
Yes.
Yeah, and you said we, so we're both right now gonna go down.
Oof. Well, unfortunately, I must attend to this patient you've just brought. It appears he has some broken bones, so bye. And he, just as quickly as he came, rushes away. Oh, and you'll probably want to talk to the headmaster.
Alright, well, I mean, that's what I figured we'd do next. We need to report this to the top of the top. So you fellas are eyewitnesses, key witnesses. Hey, good job, you passed your test.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you.
We gotta go talk to the headmaster.
My parents are
Alrighty.
gonna be so proud. It's day one. I already done passed the test. I didn't even know
Alright,
I was taking. This is good.
Well, let's
This is
giddy
good.
up. Alright, we go to the headmaster's office. We run to the headmaster's office.
As a review, transportation is the first level of transmutation. Restoration is the second level of transmutation, and splintering trees into tiny bits does not classify as transmutation, but turning trees to frogs does. Is that correct?
Yeah,
Excellent.
great
I
work.
think I'm gonna make it.
You've
You've got way more notes than me. He's like, where is large keys?
You guys make haste. You go down to the ground floor and you go outside back the way that you guys came in on your first day, except you make a right going back out of the school. You make a right. You know the way. You pass through these large section of stone that's been carved down and out of the stone, and ahead you see a
It's a nice boulder.
Very good moment.
you see a beautiful building. It's standing probably 6 stories high with 2 peaks on either side. Looks exactly like this. This is the headmaster's quarters. He has an entire building to himself. You make your way inside,
Those are some big, beautiful boulders. I agree.
up the stairs, up a spiraling staircase,
I love a good rock.
and
The splintering big rocks and the tinier rocks classify as transmutation.
That's level 4. We'll get there next.
Rocks.
you make your way onto a landing, and you see, facing a window, a tall, slender, elven man. He's facing away from you, but you can tell by the ears and his countenance, he's an elf.
He's cute.
He's quite handsome,
Mm-hmm.
muy guapo. Guessing you weren't expecting that one.
I was not
He looks somewhat exactly like this.
Somewhat exactly.
somewhat exactly.
Still a work in progress. I showed that to somebody, and the reason I say still maybe a work in progress is because I showed that to somebody, and he goes, "Huh, if Mitt Romney was an elf," and I went, "Oh no."
That's exactly what I used for the prompt.
And had like a blue face tattoo. What's the nature of like the blue?
Is that a character from Avatar 2?
No.
Okay.
Two.
Well, anyway, this is the other alternative potential of what he looks like. Very similar, but less Mitt Romney.
It looks so alien.
Yeah, I don't know why it made his eyes so crazy.
Yeah. Oh, I don't mind the eyes. I'm just saying, like, the facial structure
Mm-hmm.
needs to be a little slimmer.
Do I have any sense of how old he is, or if
Well, I mean, by
he-
that picture, he looks about like 300.
or if he I mean, I'm like 175, and like, do I see any 'cause this is not the first time I've trained in magic.
What's your clever modifier?
2.
2?
Yeah. Basically, I'm curious how old he is and how involved he is in magic.
Well,
Or was. Now it's only hypothetically.
he is old. Like,
About 350?
no, like 700.
Gonna say.
He's like much older than elves usually are. And he's standing very, very still, watching out over the school. I feel a lot of pressure to have decided upon the voice of
It's okay.
one of the most important characters.
Changed my base one like 3 times.
I didn't
That's
realize
okay.
he was gonna have an accent until I started talking.
His character's schizophrenic, and I have more voices than he's had. So, it's okay. We're learning.
Mr. Hugh, and he's not even looking at you. He's still looking out the glass, like he hasn't even turned to see that you're there. Mr. Hugh, I see that there's been an incident in the catacombs beneath the school.
How do you know that?
I was trying to recount, did anyone like carry the message ahead of us, or?
Technologies continuously advance, Mr. Hugh. You should know this better than most, as they come from your land.
Well, not the rock dwarfs, because the rock dwarfs are kind of the hillbillies of the mountains.
You've got a
No,
point.
we get it.
And he turns, and you see his crystal blue eyes just piercing into your soul as he like makes eye contact with each of you, and you feel like you're being seen completely through, like everything you've ever done, good and bad, boiling to the surface all at one time as he is judging you. In this mere moment, he's looking at you, and then it passes, and then it passes, and you realize who this is.
Oh,
This
I
is
was gonna say before that, I totally, for just a moment, lose my cool just a hair.
this is Ruloth Everlight.
I'm sorry about spitting out the jelly this morning. I didn't mean to.
This is, hold on, we'll come back to that in a second.
Right.
This is
Yeah.
Ruloth Everlight, the founder of Everlight University.
It's probably not the first time we've met then.
It might not be.
Can I?
That'd be.
Now, yeah, you hear him
I'd like to
say the
a
biscuit.
scene out loud that when he gazed upon me and damn near sucked my soul out, he saw me about naked as a jaybird in my dormitory, just swinging my clothes, hammered drunk. So
Is this something that you're just like recalling, or are you recounting this out loud?
no, it's out loud. He saw that. He saw that because I saw that. I'm sorry.
Would you please care to explain to me exactly what you saw underneath the university, please? You first.
Well, I didn't see much. There was a couple of lights in a hallway, and then the darkness. And
The door. What did you see of the door?
The dog?
There was a big lock on the ground. I thought I was taking a test. I was kind of trying to pay attention. I wasn't paying attention to the door. I was paying attention to the body that was on the ground. I was trying to take notes on transmutation.
He comes over and he puts a hand on your shoulder, and you just feel this warmth go through your whole body, like this comfort, as he like makes eye contact again, and
Feels like my soul just
Did he
peed
run
on
himself?
itself.
I was gonna say.
in the most comfortable way.
Flea, everything's going to be all right.
I hear you.
I've changed my accent. Hold on, I've got to go back. Flea, everything's going to be all right.
Yeah. So there was a body
Can't wait
It
for
was-
my turn.
on the ground, face down,
It's up to
in the
yourself.
darkness. I can't see much. It was dark.
Goodness,
I was
sir.
told we need to get him to restoration, second level of transmutation. So we picked him up by hands and feet.
You see him wince. We'll come back to that. That is not part of
And we,
transmutation.
and we, oh god, and we took him up to the hospital ward, to the healing ward, and we left him there, and then we kind of came here to you. There was a big lock. There was a big stinking lock on. It seemed like it was going to have some keys that were too big to carry. Yet somehow Hugh was going to carry them. And,
Did you
we didn't see
did
the
you
key.
see anything beyond the threshold of the door?
I couldn't see anything. It was dark past the main hallway, as I'm
Did
sure
you
know.
see anything beyond the threshold of the door?
The body?
Beyond the body?
Not really.
Did you see anything beyond the body?
No. And that was like a meta question, and that like, I'm assuming you didn't describe anything, and I do have really good hearing if that's relevant.
You do have low light vision as well.
Did I see much more than the body?
What's your quick?
Dose.
Now that he's asking you such specific questions, you remember vaguely
Mhm.
seeing what kind of looked like a shadow move, but shadows don't move
Yeah.
without a body.
Thing that makes the shadow.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But you're remembering in this
Gotcha.
instance that thing.
So now that he's recognized, he was so consumed trying to look aloof while they were definitely thought he saw a dead person. He's like just a bit out of sight. I saw something moving away,
Mm.
but I didn't see much of it, and I wasn't interested in alerting it to our alertness of it.
I see. Well, sometimes things exist at the edges of our awareness, and those things play tricks on our mind. Or rather, our mind plays tricks on us trying to hypothesize what it could be, and instead simply says, "Ah, it was nothing but a bit of old porridge left out for too long."
Did I get a vibe that he like isn't worried about is like trying to assuage us of any concerns because he expects something to have done that? Like, is he?
No, he's just saying, like, sometimes your brain tries to rationalize something that seems like it shouldn't be there,
Gotcha.
even if it is there.
So is he like gaslighting me that I didn't see something, or?
No, the opposite. He's trying to reassure you.
Ooh, gotcha.
So is turning shadows into porridge part of transmutation?
Actually, Master Flea, that would be a form of transmutation.
I'm doing it.
Yes?
Can you make my soul pee on itself?
Elfandor's like starts like getting really interested in the bookshelf to like keep
He,
it cool.
he doesn't really respond. He just pats you on the head, but you don't really feel much. But he does like a pat, 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 and on the third pat, it feels like you feel a chill go down your spine that's just like... Not in a good way, but not in a comforting way. Well,
I think I enjoyed that as much as you did.
I don't know what it was. Maybe it just happens different for different people. So you gotta have that spark.
well, this
Sorry.
is privileged information, but we've been,
We're going back down there.
of course, trying to discover where magic has gone. And we thought we made a breakthrough. We did, but not with magic specifically. We awoke something from a different plane of existence that temporarily crossed into our plane of existence.
How
Which is
temporarily?
Well, when that shadow stopped moving, I believe is when it went away.
Are you saying magic just? What do you mean left? Like ran away from
Not exactly magic.
Fido did that one time.
It would be like if your neighbor's farm, Flea, if one of their cows went through the fence into your farm.
Yeah, that'd be kind of.
That wasn't. It's not magic, right? It just broke the fence.
Things, that's not so different. Like they can just jump, but like a cow doing that, that's pretty.
And this scenario sounds like you broke the fence.
That's level 6 transmutation.
That is
Cows jumping
irrelevant
fences,
to
level
the
six
story,
transmutation.
but yes, we broke the fence, and we had to put the cow back. Except in this case, the cow might have been a devil, but it's all right. It's just good that you did not go further than the threshold of that door,
Oh. Okay.
because it was a devil.
Excuse me.
What?
Yes.
Like there's
The shadow was a devil,
in
Yes.
the room.
and I was
There's
close
a
to
devil.
Yes.
it, and he heard me saying, "Psst, hey, are you awake?"
Oh,
Hey.
well, that very well could be what startled it away. So you saying, "Psst," might have startled it away. You know,
Am I a wizard?
These devils seem like cowards.
well, if you're in a strange place you've never been before, it's been hundreds of years since that's happened. Long time. Well, anyway, that is what has happened. I appreciate you coming to pay a visit. I believe when he awakes, I shall have the three of you meet with the one you found. He would probably be very grateful to you and like to thank you for saving his life.
So if we see any other devils, should I just spook them off like a lone coyote? Like go and get.
Skedaddle.
Yeah, tell them to skedaddle. Is they gonna get rid of devils?
Does this skedaddle normally work?
No. Normally, you would use magical weapons, or perhaps magic, or holy items.
Why'd you cough? Do you have any?
That was Michael coughing.
Oh.
Because I'm trying to get my voice to go low again, because his accent is really low.
You're good. Mine's just real southern.
Gotta make
you
mine.
know.
Yes. Well,
Any chance we might be able to? I know magic's gone away.
about this time, the door that you guys came in, you didn't realize, but it locked behind you. You hear
I think somebody's
were we expecting anyone?
Was that like the sound like a person was like and then they stopped making sounds when they hit the door? Was it that kind of sound?
Nope. I'm gonna hide behind his desk.
Yep, you better go get that. I ain't getting that.
Do you have any interesting books way in the back?
You got anything to drink around here?
This time you hear splintering wood as the door gives way and shatters into 1,000 pieces.
Is turning a door into splinters transmutation?
No.
Yes.
All right, mixed signals. Making it in the notes.
Well, you're at the university with my namesake, so he doesn't say that, but you see coming up these stairs that you guys ascended a creature. This creature has horns coming out of its head in a spiral that are pitch black. It looks relatively humanoid, but but its face seems blurry. Like when you try to look at its face, it's like it goes out of focus.
Gross.
And it's also about 8 feet tall, scaling. And you see Headmaster Everlight, cool as a cucumber. Well, this moves up the timeline a bit, I suppose.
Is this one of the new students?
Is this the shadow?
Y'all ever had sleep paralysis? I'm not about to have a good time.
I'm hoping we don't
This
get
is,
wake paralysis after this one.
He like turns sideways, kind of like facing you guys, like putting himself sideways to the stairs as he talks to you. Well, it seems I'm going to have to move up my timeline for events that I foresaw happening. I lied.
40.
I saw everything because I could see everything. And you see his eyes start glowing blue. And he puts a hand out and he makes a symbol through the air, and you see these rings begin to appear in the air. You would recognize this.
I'm like instantly like trying to like.
Nothing happens.
Okay. He's waiting for the second his entire life.
And
Mr. Everlight, I'm gonna need a raise. I don't get paid enough for this.
you see these this like shimmer through the air appear, almost like a boundary, and the creature hits it and it just starts to spark, but it can't get through. You see, I've been keeping a secret for a long time. Magic is gone because I made it disappear. And then he turns to you and does just a hand wave, and you notice you're suddenly standing in an entirely different location. You are in the middle of a huge room. You see off in the distance a bustling forge, and you hear and see a sea of dwarves crafting something off in the distance. You see creatures that you've never seen before in your lifetime, at least. You maybe bustling back and forth. No, him.
Oh.
They're about your height, probably 3-4 feet tall.
Right.
But more elven features, like pointed ears, very like pale blue and green skin. They're gnomes.
Yeah. Did you hear me? I said it underneath my breath. I said no.
Oh. And then you realize that also with you here is the headmaster. Well, it seems I'm going to have some explaining to do, but right now is not the time for that. I must go back and see to the problem that has been left in my house.
I'll make a note for the lore masters out there that I started screaming as soon as he waved his hand, and so I show up in this new spot and I'm just
that whole like thing happening, you just missed.
Yeah.
It's just.
Yes, I promise in due time to explain what is going on and how each of you is involved, because I have foreseen that the three of you will be instrumental in returning magic to our world. And I fully expect you to wear this mantle of responsibility and carry it forward.
I thought you said you got rid of magic.
I did.
How were we supposed to bring it back? You got rid of it.
I don't know.
You can't
So
just
you lost magic somewhere.
I didn't lose it.
My.
I made a deal with someone that went very poorly and cost us greatly.
speak up for you. No,
But see,
I'm just wondering.
magic flows like a faucet. It
Flowed.
flowed.
Flute.
Well, he snaps a finger at you and like a little lightning bolt goes. Magic flows like a river between our planes of existence from its source. I simply turned off the source because if I didn't, yes,
Oh, no. Go ahead. I'll wait till you finish.
if I did not turn off the source of magic, our world would have ended in an instant. There are those that wish to take that which we have and use it for nefarious purposes. which is what you have seen here today. I've already told you too much. Here's what's gonna happen. We're gonna go back to the school. You are gonna forget that this ever happened. The time is not right. Your training is not ready to begin. Yes?
I'm just a janitor.
Oh, you know very well that you are more than just a janitor, Hugh. Find it within yourself. Just as I know that that eye is not really an eye. And just like I know Mr. Flea.
He's not going to try to pronounce the last name.
I was like, you're looking at the spelling to help you with that?
Mr. Flea.
Quackshamahachi.
All is not as it appears with you. Even if you do not understand why, I do. But I cannot tell you these things. You must discover them for yourself. And as for you, Mr. Elthin, sometimes wisdom brings humility. So, yes?
And one more thing before we go. Wouldn't turning off magic and you run a college about magic, wasn't that bad for business? I know the other
There's
stuff
some
about
great-
being rid of the world, but
There's
like,
some
that
great
sounds-
irony there, isn't
That
there?
sounds bad for business.
Yeah, it's like having a farm with no chickens. I
Yeah.
don't understand.
It's like having a farm where your goal is to eliminate all chickens in the world.
Yeah.
And take away
Imagine,
the loved chickens
No,
from the
you
people who
have a
love
farm
to
with
have
chickens, but you take all the eggs.
Imagine
as soon as they get out.
if
just
you
start
took
putting them on the ground.
all the chickens and put them back into eggs. All of them. But then you didn't know how to make them hatch again. That is what has happened.
That'd be a pain in the butt to keep the foxes away from. That's entirely too many eggs.
I've seen my mom hatch a
foxes eat
chicken once
eggs.
like that. She sat on that
But they
egg
eat
for
little
2
chicks.
weeks.
Both.
This is going to be much more difficult than I expected. Well, he snaps, and you immediately forget the last 10 minutes of your lives. You're standing in the headmaster's quarters. You have a book in your hand. You have a book in your hand, and you have a book in your hand. And
Mine's upside down.
he also does, and he's saying, and that is the difference between transmutation and breaking something. Breaking something is taking a tree and making it smaller, like into twigs or into toothpicks. Transmutation is taking a tree and turning it into a rock. Do you understand the difference, Mr. Flea?
Well, I get that turning trees into splinters is not transmutation. Turning trees into frogs or rocks is. And turning rocks into smaller rocks may also as well be.
Yes.
Do you have any idea why I might be holding my book like I've just met the man who's responsible for my last 800 years of torture? Sorry, 100 years of torture?
You realize that the book that you have in your hand is the subtle guide to being humble. I wouldn't have the first clue. Well, Mr. Hugh, as I said previously, in the last few minutes of our conversation of learnings, you have been promoted, including a pay raise to include not only your groundskeeper duties, but also you are now an apprentice student of the university.
Is compensation a form of transmutation?
No.
Yes, it is.
Well,
Time
This is mayonnaise.
equals money.
I I have meetings to get to, so I shall see all of you another time. But for now, I must bid you adieu. And he ushers you out of his home here at the university, and that is where the curtain will fall as you all go back to the rest of your day, of day 2 at the Everlight University, having remembered only rescuing a man from the basement and learning what transmutation is and is not. And that's where we're going to end this story tonight.
Hugh, has your accent always? Have you always been from the same class?
Well, yeah. the deeper you go. You know,
Rock gnomes. Rock gnome. A
rock,
rock gnome?
rock dwarfs.
Rock dwarfs.
We don't like no.
I'm sorry. I don't.
Gnomes disappeared
I
100
haven't
years ago
seen
too.
gnomes in a while.
100 years.
100 years. I hadn't seen one. I think we finally won.
Yeah.
It's gonna be interesting for the fourth party member to not have a southern accent.
Well,
On accident.
friends, we will see you next week as we unfurl the layers of this onion that is a mystery. But until then, have a good week, and we'll see you then. Except we're still here. How awkward is that? Because my button's not working, and so...
We pranked them. That was a prank. Pull the plug.